case you haven't been paying too much attention to Earth's mightiest marksman lately, his solo series is currently in production, and we have gotten a few leaked set photos here or there, giving us a glimpse into what they've got going on. In addition to all that, we also got some casting news, revealing to us stuff like the return of Yelena Belova from Black Widow, as portrayed by Florence Pugh, and Better Call Saul actor Tony Dalton jumping into the fray as a character named Jack Duquesne, which I am sure I absolutely butchered the pronunciation of, but we're moving on.
Now hang on a second there, John. Is that a pre-existing character within Marvel? Cause that name is familiar.
Why yes, disembodied voice of a stereotypical comic nerd, he is a character from the comics. One who goes by the alias Swordsman. And that character is the connection to Shang-Chi. Let me explain how. In the comics, Jack was a performer in a traveling carnival, performing daring feats using knives, blades, and pretty much any kind of weapon with a sharp edge. One day he met a young man named Clint Barton. Seeing quite a bit of potential in the lad, Jack took Clint under his wing, training him in how to use swords and introducing him to archery. Yeah, that's right. Jack is the one who actually trained Clint, which is just awesome. However, despite seeming like a pretty stand-up guy, Jack was actually in a lot of debt due to a gambling addiction that drove him to a life of crime, becoming a masked villain named Swordsman. Over the years, he would serve as a minor threat, committing crimes all over the globe. However, what he got up to was fairly insignificant until he was recruited by a supervillain known as the Mandarin, arch nemesis of Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. The Mandarin kitted Jack out with some pretty impressive weaponry, and tasked him with infiltrating the Avengers, hoping to take them apart from the inside out. That, didn't go super well, as he wound up developing feelings for Scarlet Witch, and did whatever you call the opposite of Breaking Bad, becoming a sort of hero, though he didn't wind up sticking with the team in the end. Now, where is the Shang-Chi connection? Well, it's pretty obviously with the Mandarin, a character who is actually going to appear within the Shang-Chi film as the main protagonist, portrayed by actor Tony Leung, finally giving us the real version of the character after the much maligned depiction of him within Iron Man 3, where it was revealed that the quote-unquote Mandarin was actually just an actor named Trevor. So, okay, what could this connection actually mean for the two properties? Well, that kind of depends on which one comes out first. As it stands, it looks like we're going to be getting Shang-Chi first, as it is currently scheduled for July 2021, whereas Hawkeye is just generally slated for sometime next year. As that is the case, it wouldn't surprise me if one of two things happen. First is having Swordsman actually first appear during Shang-Chi, perhaps showing his interaction with the Mandarin, even having him give him the orders to infiltrate the Avengers, probably via his previous relationship with Clint Barton. Or perhaps the Mandarin will appear within the Hawkeye show doing roughly the same thing. Though that would really depend on if the Mandarin gets out of the Shang-Chi film alive, since Marvel tends to take out their villains in pretty certain ways, as long as they aren't named Loki or Thanos, or Vulture or Zemo or whatever, but you know, if you think about this too much, it kind of ruins the joke. Imagine if the Mandarin were to actually become the Loki of this next phase, constantly popping up and causing issues for heroes all across the Marvel Cinematic Universe. First Shang-Chi, then Hawkeye, then heck, maybe even people like She-Hulk or Miss Marvel in their respective solo Disney Plus series. Just constantly pulling the strings in the background and actually making the Ten Rings organization something to fear, instead of just kind of a joke that Iron Man 3 left them off as. Could be fairly interesting. Either way, I'm excited to see what winds up happening in both Shang-Chi and the Hawkeye series. For now though, all there is to do is wait.